All right, so today is Monday, September 19th, which means it is the Monday of week 2 of the NFL season. So a few days ago, I made my predictions for how I thought week 2 was going to go. And now that week 2 is more or less, but not quite over, I figured I would do a video, just kind of see how I did, how correct was I, and like overall numbers of picking games, what actually happened in each game, yada, yada, yada. Now, there will be 3 games I will not be talking about in this video. Vikings-Eagles, because it hasn't happened, it happens tonight. Titans-Bills, because same shit, hasn't happened yet. And, I'll cover those probably, tomorrow or so. And Bucs-Saints. The reason I am not covering that one is it's the only Sunday game I was actually able to watch, so I would have the most to say about it. On top of the fact that it's the Saints, that's my team. And I kind of want to almost make Saints videos, or talk about Saints games in their own separate videos. Probably not in the pregame stuff. That'll just be, this is what I think is going to happen this game. This is why I think we're going to win or we're going to lose. I'm probably going to pick us to win every game, even if I don't think we're going to. But I'll even talk about it in the prediction. But I kind of like the idea of, all right, for the Saints post-game conversation, we'll do that separately. But let's go ahead and talk about Thursday night, which was the Chiefs at the Chargers. So this was one that I did get correctly. I actually got the score correctly. Because I'd given a couple scores, but I was like, it's either this or 27-24, which is exactly what happened. And I did pick the Chiefs to win. Justin Herbert is a fucking warrior, man. That dude I think he has a broken rib, or it was something like he has ruptured cartilage in his ribs, something fucking insane. And he still came back. Even though at that point it seemed like, all right, the game's probably out of reach. Do they have a chance to win? Sure. Because there's always a chance. We'll talk about the Jets game in a second. But, there's always a chance we can get that onside kick. But probably not. He still comes in, still throws an absolute dime on a 4th and 1. There's just something about Justin Herbert on 4th down, man. 4th down and the 4th quarter. This dude can do anything. I mean, if you had Justin Herbert kick the onside kick, you probably would have gotten it. But honestly, what this game came down to was the turnovers, or for the most part, the lack thereof. So many times Mahomes threw the ball, and it was either nearly intercepted and dropped, or intercepted, but called back because of a penalty. And it's not like the Chiefs were the only ones to benefit from that. I remember there was quite a few throws that Herbert threw that should have been intercepted, but weren't. So to me, with all that going on, it's really fitting that the one turnover that happened was the pick 6 at the goal line, and that's ultimately what sealed the game. I just hope that Herbert's going to be okay going forward. The Chiefs, they're going to be fine, man. They're 2-0. They're already 1-0 in the division. Mahomes looked incredibly mortal during that game. It was kind of reminding me, he looks like, at least in the second half, this looks like the Mahomes that played against the Bengals in the AFC Championship. That's not a good thing for the Chiefs. That's a great thing for the Chargers. And the Chiefs still won the game. That is how ridiculous this team is. I'm still leaning toward the Bills coming out of the AFC right now, but it's only week 2. It's way too early to be confident in those projections. Bills-Chiefs, though, I would not be surprised if they met for the 3rd year in a row somewhere in the playoffs, man. After that is Patriots-Steelers. This one I was incorrect. I did pick the Steelers to win. Wasn't super confident about it, but an L is an L. This is a game I really don't know much about what happened, except both offenses apparently suck. It was 17-14, but I follow quite a few Steelers fans on Twitter, a lot of social medias, and all I'm seeing is them be wow, our offense sucks, our offensive coordinator sucks, what are we doing out there? And I hope you guys do better, but I don't hate the Patriots either. So, a good win for them. I just really don't have much to say about it. Panthers-Giants. I also don't know much about this game, so I really can't say. I don't know if Baker got completely outplayed by Danny Dimes. I don't know if Matt Rule got completely outcoached. I don't know if it was just kind of one of those games. All I know is I was right in the end because I was like, this one's close. And it was a close game. I think the final score was 19-16 or something like that. But ultimately, I did say it's close, but I think the Giants are going to win, and that is what happened. So I'm glad I changed my pick. After that is the Jets and the Browns. So I have to make a correction. In the last video, I said something about, like, if there's one team to go 0-16, it'll be the Jets. That was a mistake, because now it would technically be 0-17, and if anyone's going to do that, it'd be like the Colts. The Colts could actually go 0-16-1, or like maybe the Texans could do it because they're both 0-2, but regardless, I thought the Jets were going to get rolled. I did not think they were going to be very good. They won, man. They were down 30-17 with under 2 minutes, and they pulled it off. Flacco went back to like 2012 form, threw a long ball touchdown, got the onside kick, got it done. The defense got a clutch pick at the end from Brissett. Good win for them, man. 100%, I was 2,000% wrong. Hats off to you guys. Brownie the Elf got sent back to the island of misfit toys. Oh, man, like the unveiling, the homecoming of Brownie the Elf. And they choked, man. But, hey, it is what it is. Speaking of the Colts, because the next is Colts-Jags. What happened, man? Like, I haven't seen the game. I haven't seen highlights. They got shut out. Like, I was like, yeah, they haven't won in Jacksonville in like 5 years. I'm going to pick them to lose. I think the Colts are the better team. After that, they got... Are they broken? Are they cursed? Because it's not just them losing in Jacksonville again. I think it was last year they also had a really slow start. They were like 0-4 or 1-5, 1-4, something at the start of the year. Then they went on a tear, got their shit together, and then they choked at the end. I don't know if this is going to be something similar where, it just takes a while to get into the groove. It is only week 2. I can't stress how important that is. I don't remember what year it was. It was the year of the Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl where the Packers at one point were 4-6. The offense was kind of out of sync. The defense was getting gashed. They looked like they were going to be trash. And then Aaron Rodgers goes out publicly. He's like, I think we can run the table. I believe in this team. I believe in these guys. We can do it. They won the next 6 games. Won on Sunday Night Football, Week 17, to clinch the division. Beat the Giants in the wild card. Beat the Cowboys in the divisional round. And, Aaron Rodgers losing an NFC Championship. But even in Week 10, you can still get your shit together. As long as you still have a mathematical chance of winning a game or getting into the playoffs, it is not over. You do not have to panic yet in Week 2. But getting shut out 24-0 in a place where you just seem to struggle, even though it's a team that's consistently bad. Like I said, you don't have to panic, but you need to be a little worried. You need to figure out what's wrong and get it fixed. But hey, good win for the Jags though. That's a divisional game. That's a home win. I don't remember if they played at home or on the road in their first game, but if that's their first home game of the season, great job winning your home opener. Somewhere in the good place, Jason Mendoza's having a blast, man. Next, Dolphins-Ravens. So this is another one I was completely wrong. I thought the Ravens were going to win by quite a bit, and for 3 quarters they were. They were up 21 points going into the 4th quarter, and then Tua happened. This was the Tua game because he was phenomenal. Like 400-something yards. It was like 429, 2 picks. That's not the best, but he had 6 touchdowns. Like, holy shit, dude. Good job, Tua. I'm not like a Tua believer. I'm not a super Tua doubter. I'm just like, all right. I haven't been overly impressed. I mean, he was getting beaten out of playing time by Fitzpatrick in one of his years. He seems solid, not great. Maybe all he needed was just great receivers. Waddle went off. Tyreek Hill went off. Just Mike Gesicki. So I saw his gritty attempt, which even he talked about. He's like, yeah, this was really bad. It looked a lot better in the mirror. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm glad he's a good sport about it. I saw a post on Instagram. Like the post was just that, and one of the comments was like, that's not the gritty, that's the McGriddle. I laughed so hard at that. It's like... he's going to be Mike McGriddle going forward. I loved it. But phenomenal 4th quarter by the Dolphins. Great job doing that. I don't know how much I am believing in this team, but they are for sure a sleeper team right now. They might be really good. Again, only week 2, only 2 games, but you knocked off the Patriots, who were a playoff team last year, the Ravens, who were almost a playoff team last year, and feel like they're probably going to be a playoff team this year. Fins might be scary, man, but good for them. Ravens, I don't know what the fuck happened, but hopefully they bounce back. I feel like they will. I feel like this is the kind of game that both teams are going to use as motivation going forward. I think it's the kind of game where the Dolphins are going to say, we can do anything. We were down 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and we scored, 4 or 5? We can do this. Oh. Okay, so, really interesting thing just interrupted me. Sorry, there's probably a really weird cut in the video. So as I was recording, it's so hot in my car that my phone, a message literally popped up on my phone saying, hey, it's way too hot for you to be using your camera. Your camera is now unavailable. So I had to spend 5 minutes, I had to restart my phone, just blasting the AC. I don't know if you can tell, I am wet right now. It's from all the sweat. Holy crap. But anyways, I was finishing up with the Dolphins and the Ravens. I think this is a game that's going to motivate both teams. I feel like the Dolphins are going to feel like we came back from 21 down at the 4th quarter and we dominated that quarter. We can do anything. We can beat anyone in any situation. And the Ravens are going to look at it as we were so close to being 2-0. We should be 2-0, and we're not. We're not going to let this happen again. If we are up on a team, we are not going to give them a chance to come back. Our defense is still going to stay aggressive. Our offense is still going to stay aggressive. Never again. I don't feel like it's going to be like a Falcons situation where they're just going to start choking all the time. I feel like they're going to have the opposite reaction. Okay, so the temperature phone thing happened a second time, so I just decided to move locations, and hopefully I won't have any more problems trying to get this done. So the next game was the Commies and the Lions. So I said I was going to pick the Lions to win. I said I was going to pick them every week, though I should kind of add a calorie to that. If they are picking the Saints, I'm probably going to pick the Saints to win, but, if we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But aside from that, I'm going to go with the Lions every time they're playing, and they did not let me down. They were up 22-0 at one point. Commies were coming back, but the Lions ultimately held. I think they only won by a touchdown. If not, it was a close 2 scores after they were dominating early. So Washington showed a lot of resiliency in this game. I feel like Washington, going into the season, I was 100% thinking the Eagles are going to win the NFC East, especially after Dak went down. I'm still rolling with the Eagles for now. Washington, I think, is going to be close. I think they are going to be consistently in the division race and wild card race. This is the kind of game that shows me why. Even when they're down early and down big, they did not give up. They still made it close. Basically doing what the Lions did last week, and they showed the resiliency, and I think they might just overall be a more talented team. I think the Lions just kind of had it today. But we'll see, man. I mean, great resiliency by them, and just great win by MCDC and the guys in Detroit. What do we have next? Next is the Seahawks and the 49ers. So, first off, man, just prayers up for Trey Lance. Like I said in the last video, I don't want to see a guy get injured. I want people to always be able to be at their best because that's what makes football great. Yes, injuries are a thing that happen, but I still don't want to see people get hurt. I hope he's okay. I hope he's able. I hope his recovery doesn't take super long, although I heard it might be season ending. I hope this isn't something that completely derails his career, man. So, like I said, just hope he's okay. But getting to the game itself, I was right. 49ers are going to win. I was right. The Seahawks played last game based on just pure emotion and all the adrenaline of Russ is coming back. We're going to whoop his ass. And this is the day where they went back to earth. They scored 1 touchdown, and it was on a blocked field goal. They got a kick 6. I love that. I love weird scores or ways to score. Like, whenever there's, like, my favorite number in football to get as points is 5, because you never see it, but it can happen. I don't think I've ever seen a team get 4 points where they got just 2 safeties. Like, a safety and a field goal gets you 5. It's weird. I love that. Scoring on a blocked field goal, super rare, so I'm always excited to see stuff like that, but so, props to the 49ers. Hope the Seahawks can recover, I guess. Moving on, so the Falcons and the Rams. So in my prediction, I said the Rams are angry. They're going to come out angry. They're going to dominate. Rams are going to roll. And I was 100% correct for about 3 quarters. Because they actually had a 28-3 lead and almost blew it. And I'm going to say it. If the Falcons had come back from 28-3, their curse is gone. 100%, I think that might have been the thing to do it. But they didn't. So close. So close. I think they were down like 5 or 6, like a minute and a half left, had the ball, threw it into the end zone. And it's not like it was a Hail Mary either. I think they were within like the 20 or 30 or so, and it got intercepted by Jalen Ramsey. Game over. They almost broke their curse. Rams almost choked a huge lead again because they also almost did that to the Bucs in the playoffs. I don't know, man. I mean, the Rams got the win. They beat up an inferior opponent like they're supposed to. They're the defending champs. Something about that game gives me really weird juju about the Rams. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. And I know that's weird to say. I've been saying throughout this whole video, at least in the first half when I was in my car, it's week 2. It's way too early to make those kinds of predictions. You don't need to panic yet. But something about it makes me feel like the Rams are going to be good. Like a 10-7, 9-8, something like that. And it's going to be by like a game or 2. But they're going to miss the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to seeing if I'm right. Not in a sense where like I hate the Rams, but I'm a Saints fan, so I do hate the Rams. But it's more just a, like... Sorry, I'm remembering the movie Bolt, because I recently watched all the Disney movies, and the shitty agent, his main thing is like, hey, we're going to put a pin in that. And ever since I watched that movie, I literally do the action, like I'll be talking in my room and be like, hold on a second. Just got to put a pin in that. So that's what we're doing right now. Or it's like an Inside the NBA when they do the Post-it notes. This is my Post-it note right now. The Rams are going to miss the playoffs. We'll see if I'm right. I probably won't be, because I feel like that's a really bold prediction, especially for week 2. But we'll see. Let's see. What's next? Next is Cardinals Raiders. This is another game, kind of like the Panthers and the Giants, where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen in this one. I'm going to make a pick, but I could see it going either way. And just like Panthers Giants, I got my pick correctly. Cardinals won. Like I said, I think the Raiders are still going to have a better season than the Cardinals. I'm not worried about them yet. Now Josh McDaniels is now 0-2 as their head coach, and he's an interesting head coaching hire. Because going into it, a lot of people are like, man, yeah, he's been the Patriots OC for a long time. He's going to be really good. You know, he's been needing this opportunity. Yeah, he was a bad coach with the first time he was young, he was inexperienced. He's got this now. But he is 0-2, which isn't a great look. Especially when, he's this offensive guru and his quarterback in the first game throws 3 interceptions. And in the second game, his offense doesn't score in the second half. Or like they might have kicked a field goal at one point, but they just shut down in at least the fourth quarter and in overtime. Dude, there was one point on a 2-point, I think it was the Cardinals' first 2-point conversion. Kyler Murray held the ball for like 9 whole days. There was no one around him. There was no rush. It's almost like he's kind of waiting for it. Like, where is everybody? This is weird. I'm not used to having all this time. I'm just gonna kind of waltz into the end zone and get the 2 points. Is no one gonna stop me? Okay, no one's gonna stop me. Okay. But they did that. They got the ball back, scored again as time expired on a Kyler Murray scamper in. got the 2-point conversion, and so I wasn't able to actually watch the game. I was trying to find a live stream, and I found a video of a guy giving a play-by-play. I think he was a Raiders fan doing a play-by-play of the game. So I couldn't watch it, but I was essentially having the very end of the game and overtime narrated to me. I would shout him out. I don't remember his name. I'll see if I can add it in the description later, but that was really fun. In overtime, he's like, all right, Cards have it. They're doing this. They're doing 4th and 1. Oh no, they're going for it. Hollywood Brown got it. He dropped it. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Raiders have a chance. All right, we're going. They're going. Carter Renfro's got it. Fumble. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, the Raiders recovered. I don't know how, but the Raiders recovered. Oh, thank God. Like spam. I don't remember the name of the guy the number of the guy who recovered was like 87. He's like, spam 87 in the chat. Raiders have a chance. All right, Carter Renfro again. He fumbled again. Cardinals have it. Cardinals win. They scooped and scored. They just recovered. Cardinals win. I'm not kidding. Dead ass. Like, it was, I feel bad for the guy because, his team lost. That sucks. But it was so entertaining watching his play-by-play. Like, I had a really good time. Cardinals also almost fucked that up, though. It was the scoop and score. The guy had it. He was running. It's close, but he almost threw the ball away before he crossed the goal line. And if he had, it would have been a touchback, which means the Raiders would have had possession. The Cardinals were like that. Like, the margin of victory to screwing themselves over was like that. Wild game, wild ending. I don't know if I would say that's a crazier ending than what happened like with the Jets or with the Dolphins. I'm not gonna. I don't know what I would pick as like the crazier comeback. But regardless, that's props to the Cardinals. I do still think the Raiders are going to be fine overall. It's week 2. Don't need to panic yet. Next up, Texans-Broncos. So this one I was wrong. I picked the Texans to win, and I'm not even really sure why. I had even said, I was like, I've just got this gut feeling that the Texans are going to win. They almost did. It was 16-9. Way closer than I expected. Even as someone who picked the Texans, I really thought the Broncos were going to roll in this one. I don't think Russ is the problem. It is, it's a new coach, it's a new system, it's a new team. I think in a few weeks, Russ is really going to get rolling. The whole let's ride thing. I don't know if they're going to ride all the way to the playoffs because the AFC is pretty fucking stacked. But I think it'll be a relatively positive season. There's definitely going to be something to build on going forward if they don't make the playoffs. I don't know about Nathaniel Hackett, though. This week in Denver, where, like the higher altitudes, the ball sails further on kicks, he opted to not go for a 50-plus yard field goal. In Seattle, which is not Denver, where the ball doesn't go as far because of the altitude, he opted to do a 60-plus yard field goal. Am I missing something? Is there... I don't get it. I sincerely don't get it. And I mean, maybe it is, he's a new coach. Some of those early game jitters, people kept second guessing his decision. So he's like, okay, you know what? Long field goals, not doing it anymore. You happy now? Get off my back. Maybe that's it, but if he's letting the pressure get to him after one game, that is a problem. Oh, that reminds me. So going back to the Falcons and the Rams, speaking of the pressure getting to the coach, so Kyle Pitts, again, I didn't get to watch the game. I haven't seen the box score for myself, but I've heard that Kyle Pitts was just not involved in the offensive game plan. It sounds like he was more of a blocking tight end than a receiving tight end. Given that Kyle Pitts was the number 4 overall pick last year and seemed like he, could really be a very good player, it's weird that he's not getting as involved. And people had asked him, they're like, Coach Smith, I believe Arthur Smith is the coach. Like, hey, Coach Smith, what's the deal with Kyle Pitts? Like, why isn't he getting more involved? Why isn't he getting more touches? And he's like, hey, I don't care about fantasy football. I'm trying to win real football. That was his response. Might not be word for word. It's basically what he said. And all I can think of is, man, that is not a good thing to say when you're 0-2. You're like, I'm trying to win real football? Yeah, well, I mean, how's that been working out for you, dog? I'm sorry, I remember that and I had to bring it up. But anyways, good win for the Broncos because they did get the win, even though it was a lot closer than I think it probably should have been. We'll see as the season goes on. Like I said, I think Russ is going to get better. I don't know about Hackett. Next up, we have Bengals Cowboys, or they're still the Bungles after this week. They're playing a team without its starting quarterback, but I guess Cooper Rush is a god, so it doesn't matter. Maybe the Bengals get an excuse, but they're 0-2 against two teams they really should have beaten. The Super Bowl hangover seems real right now. Again, only week 2, but the Bengals should be 2-0 and are 0-2. The revamped offensive line is not helping. Parsons, I know, got 2 sacks. I predicted he was going to get 3, so I was close, but not quite. But I think in 2 weeks, Joe Burrow's I think I read he's taken 13 sacks. I'm like, that's not true. That had to have been hyperbole. And I'm maybe like 90% sure I was just reading a meme. Because there's no way he's been sacked 13 times in 2 games. That's absurd. That's obscene. But I think he was sacked like 6 times in week 1 or like 7. Parsons got 2. So right there, that's like 9 or 10. It's not impossible. And boy, that's bad. Do I have anything else down for this game? No, just the 2 sacks, still the Bungles, and just Cooper Rush. I mean, good win for the Cowboys, being able to keep their season alive. Hopefully they can build on the momentum and that even with Dak out, they can keep going. They're not on life support yet. Neither are the Bengals, but the prognosis isn't good right now. And the last game to talk about is the Bears and the Packers. It went exactly how I thought it would. The game is in Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers things. They won by like 17 or something. They beat the crap out of the Bears. They own the Bears. That's really all there is to it.